Welcome to the 2014 Mr. Football Show, presented by the Louisiana Sports Writers Association and the Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance Companies. I'm your host, Jeff Palermo. As usual, it was tough to pick just one player for this great honor, considering the amount of high school football talent in the Bayou State. For instance, in Northwest Louisiana, Calvary Baptist's Shun Brown had 1,300 receiving yards and 26 touchdowns. In Monroe, Ouachita Christian quarterback Chance Clowers and speedy Neville running back Avante Turpin led their schools to respective state championships. In Central Louisiana, Peabody's Wanya Curlin led the Warhorses to their first playoff victory in 5 decades. And in Southwest Louisiana, Elton running back Marcus Lemoyne rushed for 2,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. Over in Lafayette, Acadiana's Ronald Broussard finished his career with 23 career interceptions. And in the capital city, U-High running back Nick Brosette rushed for 1,800 yards and 31 touchdowns, finishing with a 4-year total of 137, which is good for 6th in the nation. But there is one player whose numbers were so eye-popping that they are almost hard to believe. And that is our Mr. Football 2014 Warren Easton quarterback DeShawn Capers-Smith, the 20th recipient of this great award. DeShawn completed 63% of his passes for 4,300 yards, 50 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. He also had 21 rushing touchdowns and had 1,318 yards on the ground. When you combine his passing and rushing totals, they stretch over 3 miles. Here to talk with me more about DeShawn is Rod Walker, who does an outstanding job covering prep sports for the New Orleans Advocate. Rod, thanks a lot for spending a few minutes with us to talk about DeShawn. What impresses you the most, or what stands out the most when you had an opportunity to watch him play, especially this senior season?
Well, first of all, the talent actually, it obviously speaks for itself. You look at the eye-popping numbers that you just talked about, but the thing that stood out to me the most about him was just how poised and how level-headed he was about everything, both on and off the field. The team could be down late in the game, and he'd always just be poised, during those situations, and just never got rattled by anything. And that was the one thing that always stood out about him to me.
And we saw that a couple of times this year. In the semifinal game, the dramatic comeback there against Plaquemine where they almost blew the lead and then had to come back and win. And even in the state title game against Neville, they were down by a couple of touchdowns, but they ended up losing by just a couple of points.
Yeah, that's just how he was. He never felt the pressure in the big moment, and he was just able to just always just soak it all in, and he was able to, to endure those.
Could you see this 2014 season coming for him? Because in 2013, he spent most of the year as a cornerback, wide receiver, and then he was moved to quarterback in the postseason. But I don't think anybody could have really anticipated what he was going to do once he got a full year at quarterback on the varsity level.
Yeah, this is a team that we had him, pegged #1 in the preseason, but you just didn't know he was going to be able to put up those type of numbers. You knew about all the weapons around him, and you knew how much talent that team had. But to put up those numbers, just 2 interceptions in an entire season is just remarkable, and I don't think anybody saw that coming.
It really is one of the great stories for a high school that didn't play football at all 2006 and 2007 because of Hurricane Katrina, to slowly build back up and to become a power in the New Orleans area.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Hall and did some stories on him, and just asking why would you even want to take a job like that with just with what you're going to have to face, just an uphill climb. But they just kept plugging away and plugging away. Last year they had a really good season, and this team, they won 4 or 5 games maybe these guys' freshman year, and they just kept getting closer and closer. And this year they were able to get to the Superdome, and it's actually pretty remarkable that this school was able to keep all this talent. At one school, these guys could have gone off to some other schools maybe where they were a little more high profile, but they decided to stick it out at Easton, and the results showed this season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they play in a tough district as well. Carr was in the state title game in 2013. Landry Walker's always a solid team. So this is, it really was, and they played a difficult schedule. They came up to Baton Rouge, played Woodlawn, they've played East Ascension, Sanoma. So they've played a lot of excellent talent leading up to the state title game.
Yeah, a lot of people look at this district and they think it may be the toughest one in the state.
Yeah.
You just look at all the parity they had this year. Easton beat Landry Walker. Landry Walker beat Carr, and Carr beat Easton. So I mean, those teams were right there bunched together. So that just shows you how tough that district is.
You mentioned, going back to DeShawn here really quickly, about how calm he was and how poised he was. And we'll talk to him a little bit about that later on in the show. But where do you think that kind of came from for him?
I think a lot of it has to do with just kind of his upbringing. You know, you talk to his parents, and they just say that's just sort of who he is. He's just not rattled. I did a big feature story on him, and just talking to some of the teachers at the school, he was just a different kind of kid. He was the kind of kid that, you know, dads say, yeah, you want your daughter to marry a guy like this guy. I mean, he was just that special kid. He just kind of had everything together, just had his head on straight, and, you know, it's a testament to his parents for doing a great job with him.
Well, he was fun to watch. It's sad in a way that he's moving on to college, because it was a tremendous season. Warren Easton was fun to watch this year. Carr is always great to watch. Landry Walker. Rod, thanks again for stopping by and talking to us about high school football and DeShawn Capers-Smith.
Thanks for having me.
We're back on Mr. Football, and I'm joined by the Executive Vice President and State Manager for Louisiana Farm Bureau Insurance, Blaine Briggs, and also Vice President of Sales, Will Waldrop. Thanks a lot, guys, for spending a few minutes with us. First of all, if you could, talk about why it's so important for Farm Bureau to be involved in this award, Mr. Football.
First of all, thank you to Cox for the support in this award and promoting this young man that's going to win it. It's exciting for us because we are Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're all in communities all over the state. We have employees and agents that have children in schools all over. So we like to support Louisiana high school sports and football on Friday night. You can't beat it.
No doubt about it. And for Farm Bureau to be involved in an award like this, it just gives a chance for you guys to get even closer with the schools and the athletes that bring all that excitement on Friday night.
We enjoy this relationship. Our agents enjoy it. Our adjusters, our employees all over the company enjoy it. And we really enjoy being not only involved with the players, but being in the communities. You know, we have a presence in every parish in our state, and we love being a part of football, so it works out real well.
And it seems like Farm Bureau and Friday night football, those are just two things that go hand in hand.
Certainly is, and I will tell you, it's exciting for everyone involved. One thing we enjoy is, again, like Will said, the community involvement. Our agents and our employees participate and support these high schools throughout the state, and you know, certainly the Louisiana sports writers do a wonderful job promoting high school football in Louisiana. You can't beat it. I've seen other states and how they promote their high school sports, and we do a good job here.
And Will, this is not the only sport that Farm Bureau sponsors as far as giving out a Player of the Year award. You do it in multiple sports, correct?
We do. We give a Mr. Basketball, Miss Basketball, Miss Softball, and a Mr. Baseball award annually too. And so, again, it's just another opportunity for us to give back in those communities and really recognize the superior athletes that we have coming out of Louisiana.
And also, of course, titled sponsor of the pregame show for the Cox 4 Game of the Week. What has that done for your company and just that involvement as well?
Well, once again, it's exciting for us. We don't do a lot of advertising. We sell based off of our service, and that's important to us. But showing our employees and our agents and our policyholders that we're supporting the community is important, because we are part of the community, and that's something, again, that we've always looked forward to doing each year, and it's exciting.
Well, this young man who's winning the award today, 50 touchdown passes, guys, 50 touchdown passes. Very impressive, and there were a lot of great candidates this year that could have won the award. I know you guys get to go out and watch a lot of Friday Night Football or watch it on the Cox 4 Game of the Week, so you get an idea of just how difficult it is to win an award like this.
It is. I mean, you watch these kids. We have some fantastic athletes in Louisiana, and some fantastic athletes that have won this award in particular. But it's hard just to choose one because, again, because the nature of what we're doing, it's fantastic to see the talent pool in this state.
No doubt about it. Tell us a little bit more about what Farm Bureau can offer for those individuals that are watching this. And obviously you're connected with football, you're connected with the community, but what else can you do for prospective policyholders out there?
Well, we've been around, we've been in business for a long time. We've been in the state of Louisiana for almost 60 years. And we are here, we've been able to establish what we have because we do provide the best service, and we are local. And when you work with a Farm Bureau agent, Farm Bureau adjuster, that's going to be somebody you live close to, go to church with, and that really sets us apart.
Sounds great. Well, guys, thanks again for spending a few minutes with us today, talking a little bit about DeShawn Capers-Smith and just the tremendous season he's had. Thanks again for your support of the Cox 4 Game of the Week and then this Mr. Football Award and then the other awards as well. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
Oh, we appreciate the support of Cox and also the Louisiana sports writers. They do a fantastic job.
And it's Louisiana sports writers who are the ones choosing this award.
Correct. That's correct.
Well, again, thanks again for spending a few minutes with us. Welcome back to Mr. Football 2014, and it's now time to introduce you to Mr. Football 2014, and that is Warren Easton quarterback DeShawn Capers-Smith. DeShawn, congratulations on the award once again.
Thank you.
Tell us your thoughts on winning this award.
Well, it's an opportunity for me, so, just to be part of this program and winning this award, real grateful.
Obviously, when you begin a season, you don't think about winning awards or postseason awards. The goal is to win a championship, which you guys came very close to doing, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But now that you've won it, does it just amaze you that you're Mr. Football? I mean, so many guys in the past, so many big-time players in high school football in Louisiana have won this award.
Yes, sir. Leonard Fournette and a couple of more people. But I knew Leonard for a long time. I played with him in park ball, but just winning this award, it shows that the talent that I have and showing people that what I can do, it's just bringing it out, showing people that I really can step up to the plate and be Mr. Louisiana football.
Have you spoken to Leonard Fournette since winning the award? Did he shoot you a text message or anything like that?
No, I never had a chance to talk to him, but during the season, my family started just lefty football, so it just started from there.
Well, let's talk about that, lefty football. It's a play on Johnny football, right? Yeah. You're left-handed, and you're right-handed. You're right-handed? You're right-handed. So where did lefty come from?
My dad.
Dad? Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, my dad is left-handed, so they call him Big Lefty, and I'm Little Lefty, and I have a little brother, which is side, call him Baby Lefty. So it just rolled over from there.
But the way you play is very reminiscent at the quarterback position of a Johnny Manziel, and that you're mobile and you're able to throw the football and so forth. So it had to be fun to have kind of a a nickname like that, lefty football.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought I was left-handed, and when when you tell them I'm right-handed, they're like, "Oh wow, for real?" And it just shocked them.
I should have known that. I've seen you play a couple of times, but tell me about going into this season. Last year, you spent much of the year as a defensive back until around playoff time. Then you became a quarterback, and you were a quarterback freshman, sophomore years. But going into the season, knowing that you were going to be the quarterback, and just how you prepared yourself for the season.
Well, this season, I stayed in the weight room, stayed in film room with Coach Hall, Coach Josh, and we were just working on from breaking it down. Doing a lot of 7-on-7s, and we actually went to Hoover to play in the 7-on-7 national championship, and we actually won that first place, and I became the MVP of that. And during that, I think I went at least 300 out of 311. I really didn't only threw one intercept out of 2 days, so it was showing that I was really getting the groove of it, and from that brought on to the season, and it showed.
Yeah, tremendous season, 50 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Were you a guy to kind of look at your statistics as the season went on and said, man, I can't believe I'm doing this?
Honestly, it just come natural to me. And, I don't look at that stuff. It's there. I did it my junior year, freshman and sophomore year, so it just carried on. And you only get better, so that's what it did.
Now, tell me about your relationship with Tyron Johnson, who is a big-time wide receiver who's planning on going to LSU. Just the connection you guys had. He was kind of more of a maybe an A-personality type of guy. He was fired up all the time. You're more calm, collective. How did that relationship kind of balance off with the rest of the team?
Well, yeah, me and Tyron get along real well. I'm the one that's keeping calm. Tyron, don't do this, don't do that. We need you. Because without him, we can't do nothing big. So with Tyron, we also played against each other growing up. But our last 2 years of park ball, we played with each other, also with Darryl Clark and Devin Glenn. And with Tyron, man, can't have like a brother. So without him, it's nothing.
Wow. And you guys have been playing together, since little kids, right?
Yes,
or
sir.
playing against each other? You guys have known each other that long?
Yeah.
Tell me, you mentioned a couple of the other skill position players that were really big, important pieces of this Warren Easton team that went to the state title game. Tell us a little bit about them as well.
Well, the Darryl Clark, Devin Glenn, and Tyron Johnson, we all played at Howard Park, which we all grew up around. But for me, I started off at Goretti Park, which is in the east of New Orleans. So, but growing up with them and our last year of park ball, we also went to the championship in that, and we had that dream, and we lost, came up short in that. And we was talking, man, it's our last year of high school football. Let's do something big. So we also went back to the same thing, state championship. Came up short by 1 point, but that was our dream. We all stood together on that dream, and we took advantage of it.
It was the first time Warren Easton had been in a state title game since 1958. What was it like leading up to that game to have all this proud alumni to come back to the school and everybody that was rooting for you guys? First school from the East Bank, I believe, to be in a state title game in quite a while as well. Just the pride that you had with that.
We in the city of New Orleans on Canal Street, so without the people, a lot of people that came back was from Los Angeles, Orlando, a lot of people came back, and that was real big for us to see the tickets sold out what we sold. And a lot of people was coming back saying, man, we proud of y'all. We proud of y'all, hitting us up on Twitter saying, keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all, win or lose, we still love y'all. And to see that, it was real big. Then we had the chance to talk to the class of '58, so that was real nice. Yeah. And we also, every Monday we talk to Mr. Hank. So early in the morning, he come and talk to us, tell us our stats of the game. He write down the stats, tell us, we had this many penalties, we did this, we did that, but also you started showing it, it started breaking down, and it was getting, so that we was getting better.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about your college choice and whether don't you want to play quarterback too in college? We'll get into that. More of Mr. Football 2014 when we come back. Back here on Mr. Football 2014 with the Mr. Football Award winner, DeShawn Capers-Smith, the quarterback at Warren Easton. We were talking about in the last segment about playing in the state title game for the first time for the school anyway since 1958. What a great honor for the school to be able, and for yourselves to lead that team into a state championship game. What do you take the most out of that season? What do you remember the most out of it?
I would want to say brotherhood. You know, we all came close from started off our freshman year. We went 4-6, losing in the first round of the playoffs, and we was only getting better. So, you know, a lot of people was telling us, you know, Warren Easton ain't gonna do this, Warren Easton ain't gonna do that, and we were just taking that to motivate us, man. You know, let's do something, let's show people what we could do, you know. And we was just proving the world that we could do something big and actually playing for the state title.
Now, for people that aren't familiar, Warren Easton, of course, was affected a great deal by Hurricane Katrina. Did not play football at all in 2006 and 2007. So you guys have basically, along with Coach Tony Hall, have pretty much built a program from scratch. I know you weren't there the first few years, but as you mentioned, your freshman year you guys were 4-6. So this was something where you guys took something that you had to put it all together. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment right there.
It really is, especially for Coach Tony Hall, the greatest person that, you know, is on the world, greatest coach that I ever been around, and I give my props to him. You know, he kept us all straight. You know, he letting us know people, you know, or people saying y'all ain't gonna do this, y'all ain't gonna do that. We were just proving the world, and with Coach Hall, he had our back just like we had his. So with him, man, you gotta love him.
And for people that don't know this as well, Coach Hall was an engineer at Michigan Assembly Facility in by Slidell there on the North Shore almost. And here he is coaching you. He quits that job to coach football. You talk about that experience. Here's a guy that was very successful in what he was doing, and now here he is as a football coach.
Well, Coach Hall didn't really, you know, didn't explain about that engineering job, but, you know, he also just told us, you know, stay focused, man. You know, don't let nobody tear y'all down. You know, stay humble, do what we have to do, and he'll have our back just like we got his. And it just rolled over with all the coaches: Coach Phillip, Coach Span, Coach Josh, Coach Roussel, Coach Dallas, and etc. You know, and it's proud to see that so many coaches come together and do something big with a lot of group of kids, and we turned this program around.
I should say Miss Shooters at New Orleans East, but you also are very involved in stuff off the field as well. The Warren Easton Recycling Program, you volunteered there, and then you also donated time to Just Keep Living Foundation. Tell us about those two organizations and why you felt compelled to give your time to those efforts.
I mean, with that, it's just especially a lot of group of kids that's off the football team and a lot of people that's from the school. You know, we all give our time to that. So, you know, it's real big to do something for the community.
Now, you're planning on going to Texas A&M. Now, as we tape this, it's before National Signing Day, so that's the plan, right?
Yes,
you're feeling pretty good about that,
Yes,
huh?
sir.
Now, you've been recruited as a cornerback, but, man, I've seen you play quarterback. I think you could play quarterback at the next level. How much are they going to give you an opportunity maybe to see if you could play QB?
Yes, sir. I'll probably be working out with the quarterbacks, but that, you know, I always wanted to see what college would give me an opportunity to play quarterback, and I've been looking into a lot of them. You know, I always thought about Texas A&M giving me a shot because, you know, a lot of people was on Twitter saying, man, like DeShawn, will Texas A&M, you know, ever change his scholarship around? You know, would they ever, you know, reconsider of letting them play? So to see that and people from that where I want to go show that, you know, they see what I'm doing, they love it. So.
As far as getting an opportunity to play at A&M, I mean, let me ask you this first. How many other schools have contacted you because of seeing you play at quarterback saying, hey, I think we got a spot for you here to play QB?
Well, I only heard from two. It was Arizona and Tennessee.
Okay.
But other than that, man, to see them two giving me a shot, I really thought about, you know, looking into it, but I never had the chance to. So.
But you feel comfortable with Coach Kevin Sumlin,
Yes,
and then if that doesn't work out, You got John Chavis as your defensive coordinator. That's got to be pretty exciting.
Yes, sir.
And you've said that you visited there a few times. Just kind of tell us why Texas A&M, why that seemed like a good fit.
Oh, man, it's a great atmosphere out there. You know, it's just not about football. It's about the people and the people you're around. You know, it's a very nice town to be in, very quiet. You don't really see nothing happening in Texas A&M, in College Station, period. But everywhere you go, you just see people show you love. Like, you know, they've got this little slang called howdy. And, you know, it's the way of greeting people. So
yeah.
With that, it's nice.
You're going to miss New Orleans, though, huh?
Yeah, I am.
And one of the last games before we let you go, we had a chance, the pleasure of televising your semifinal game against Plaquemine. Tell us about that game. That was, you had the big lead, and then all of a sudden Plaquemine comes back, and then you got to lead them on a last-minute drive to win the game.
Oh, man. That game now, you know, it brought out everything in me. You know, I had to do something because it was almost taken away from me. What I wanted to do is go to the state championship. Yeah. But that being said, you're right. We did have the lead early. Came out, and we wasn't moving the ball very well. You know, they came out, they started scoring, and they left us with a nice amount of time, 1 minute and 17 seconds, and we took advantage of it. And we came down. I got stopped on the 1 yard line. Boom. Yeah. Spiked the ball. Give it to Tyron on the end around. He scores. Game was over.
The rest is history, right?
Right. But, man, after the game, just sitting there crying, you know, thinking about it. Like, man, we really did it. Like, you know, taking the opportunity and showing people what we really could do. And with that being said, man, just thinking about it makes you want to cry. But
yeah,
Coach Hall, he deserved it.
DeShawn, you deserved it too.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Our Mr. Football Award winner for 2014. Thanks for watching.